Whoa, easy. Before we start assembling this guy, there's one more part making task to deal with. These are the two slide dowels that mount the motor to the body of the drill. They are wonky, and I'm going to remake them. The problem is that the inside of the casting that the nuts tighten against is unfinished and not a flat surface. So what happens is that the slide dowels are held straight by the body of the drill, and when the nuts tighten on an uneven surface, they just bend the dowels right at the thread. So we're going to make new dowels, and also machine a flat surface in the casting so the new dowels don't bend out of shape. The dowels include a 16 TPI thread, so we need to set that up on the lathe. We'll be cutting a Whitworth thread. I have a tool holder and inserts for 60-degree threading, but not for Whitworth, which is 55. So I'm using a high-speed steel blank, ground to suit. The lathe is running a little too slow and it's not liking the cut, but I only have a small gap to disengage the feed, so it's easier to manage when it's nice and slow. Now, where were we? No, not for this project. This project is all about filthy British heavy metal. Let's start with the quill handle. There were a few burrs around the pinhole, and once they were removed, it slid on okay. I used a reamer to clean out the paint and gunk, and then install the new taper pin. This is obviously the wrong sized pin, and I don't have a fresh one the right size. I still have the old pin, so I'll just quickly clean that up and reuse it. These handles have a weird tapered thread on the end. I think they've been remade before, but seem to go in okay. Once I'm satisfied that the project is done, I'll go back and Loctite these in place. And yeah, I know, I don't like a shiny knob. There's a place for knob polishing, but not for this particular project. I want the drill to be clean and functional, but it's no museum piece. In saying that, this gap, yeah, I'm going to have to deal with that. This is an issue I haven't dealt with yet. The motor has this original plastic insert, but I think the rest of it is missing. I don't want the cord flapping around like that. Here's a few plastic adapters I picked up at the local electrical supplier. Nothing works as is, but hopefully we can modify a combination of these bits to get a nice pinch fit. I figured I'd start with the bigger piece and just machine it so it becomes a blank in the existing hole, and then work on making the smaller piece fit. This is some precarious lathe holding, but it's only plastic. And then wiring in a new cable. I got rid of the crappy crimp fitting on the earth as well. The next trick is that I have to feed the cable down through one of these top holes and have it poke out a similar sized hole inside the switch box. This might take a while. Better put on some calming music. Ah, that was easy. For some reason, one of the connections is an annoying double solder joint. First I have to remove the remains of the old wire, and then awkwardly solder the new wire in while it's half installed on the machine. The original screws that hold the switch panel in place are 2BA, I think. I only have 2 of the screws, and they're a bit chewed up anyway. 2BA is slightly smaller in diameter than M5, but the pitch is almost identical. So I'm going to drill the holes out slightly and run an M5 tap through. The M5 cap screws are temporary. Some nicer hardware will arrive before we finish the video. In part 8, where I made this back gear plate, someone suggested installing a piece of bright metal behind the oil sight, so that the level can be more easily seen. It's a good tip. So yeah, I'll run with that. And sorry not to give credit, I looked through the comments and it must be hidden in a reply to someone else. I'm going to use one of these segmented V-belts. I do think they run smoother, but mostly I like them because you can just invest in a few lengths of the stuff and then make up belts as you need them in exactly the right length. And power twist belts are reasonably priced if you buy them from somewhere like Amazon. Incidentally, these packets from Amazon were sold as Grizzly, but original power twist is what Grizzly actually supply, at least in this case. I noticed a little dent in the edge of the pulley, so better take care of that. Fitting the lid. That's us. Drill press. Okay, so there are a couple more things. Install the switch lever and put the labels back on. I don't really know if I want to put these old labels back on. Okay, you ready? It's a little noisy. Most of the noise you can hear is coming from the back gears rattling around. Of course, it won't have made itself any quieter during the 40 odd years since it was a brand new machine, but fundamentally it's noisy by design. It would be much better if the back gear was disengaged when not in use. Sure, I'd love the machine to sound like a fine Swiss watch, but that's not what this project was about. Maybe sometime in the future we'll look at a few mechanical modifications to smooth it out, but not now. Now I need to drill holes. When I got this drill, it was one step away from the scrapyard, and now it's a clean, leak-free, perfectly functional machine. The business end of the drill is rock solid, with no perceptible run out. And the motor is really smooth, worth the price of admission alone. I'm not going to suggest that it's sensible to remake castings like the drill table, or have new labels printed. Of course it's not. But it is sensible to refurbish old machines. Ignoring those two frivolous expenses, this project owes me less than the amount I'd have to spend to buy the equivalent drill in good running condition. And that's what this channel is about. I appreciate machinery, especially machinery manufactured before the computer. Think about the sum of human endeavour that led us to the point of being able to flick a switch and drill a perfect circle in almost any material. And how amazing that would seem to an ancient craftsman. And yet these old machines are just sitting around taking up space in the back of old workshops, ready for guys like you and me to claim and then use them for decades more. Thank you guys. I know that this project was drawn out, so thank you for hanging in there. Thank you especially to those who directly contributed through Patreon. This channel has grown tenfold since I started the drill project, and that's awesome. It's the interaction with you guys that makes it fun. So thank you, and let's roll on with the next project.